Hey everybody, welcome to the NAKE'd Podcast, where clothing is optional, but Alan is mandatory.
Hey nerds, it's me, Alan. Let me introduce you to Norma.
Can't confirm y'all missing out. Hey y'all, it's Norma, introducing you to Kielyn.
Hey guys, I'm Kielyn, and welcome to the NAKE'd Podcast.
So another article that the New York Times had put out is actually this pretty good recap of the college cheating scandal going on.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, Felicity Huff, she was in Desperate Housewives.
The blonde, right?
The blonde, yeah. She was charged and only sentenced to 14 days in prison and has to pay, I think, $30,000 in fines or something like that. Yeah, so she bribed a college. You know, she doctored her daughter's SAT scores, and she only spends 14 days in prison, while other high-profile people, like celebrities, such as Aunt Becky from Full House,
And Baker with a good head.
right? They didn't take the plea deal. Felicity took the plea deal, and now Lori Loughlin, who's Aunt Becky, she's really regretting not taking it. Only 14 days in prison. They're gonna put her in solitary. There's no way they're gonna release her to Gen Pop.
No.
Yeah, no. They'd fuck her up there.
She's getting a slap on the wrist and gets to walk away into the sunset.
So one funny thing about this is, what's the difference, in my opinion, from them paying the school and then paying the teacher? Going back, so if my family made a donation to Harvard and they built a building there, my kids go there, right? More or less.
Yeah.
So isn't that, in essence, the same as bribing the school so your kids can go there?
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is just bribery with extra steps.
Yeah.
And they paid one guy, William Singer. He's almost 60 years old. He's the one who bribed coaches, test monitors, falsify exam scores, fabricate student biographies. Like, they weren't on the volleyball team all through school. No, they never even went. They never even went to a sport event at their school. So, they would save them a spot on a team of a sport they never played before. And it worked. Parents paid for the scores. The cheating went down a couple different ways. So they would either have them take the exam for them or have them be a proctor. They really wanted it to keep it all under wraps and disguise it as like a nonprofit, like donation. But it was just really bribes to these other people. So what you're talking about is totally the same. This is just really lengthy, and you pay another person to do it for you.
They don't have the Harvard name at the top of their letterhead. That's the only difference.
He's just the middleman.
Right.
Pretty much.
I mean,
he's the finder's fee. Some people are good for college. Other people are good for like a trade school or such.
everyone go to trade school. The robots are taking over. They don't need you anymore.
Become a plumber, kids.
Yeah.
The robots always need power. Just remember that.
Yeah.
Everyone nodded in agreement.
You couldn't see it, but it was very much in unison.
Yeah, kind of.
So, yeah, I don't really get, like, the lying, the cheating, but if any of these kids were just, like, they had the test scores, they had everything, their parents paid a little extra for them to go in, to me, that doesn't sound wrong, because that's college.
Yeah, but, I mean, falsifying scores.
Yeah, no, that's all wrong. Like, that, banned for life for that. But if any of them was that, oh, we just paid the coach to put our kid on the team. Well, I mean, rich people always do that. It's a fact of life. Money buys everything.
Money makes the world go round.
But schools are supposed to be like the one protected institution where they're supposed to value you for your
integrity.
Oh, they're our big colleges are really just a joke right now.
Oh, speaking of that, weren't you telling me something about a certain college has to now pay their football players money for playing for them?
Oh, yeah.
No.
So, yes. Right now, there's a bill in California that is somewhat destined to pass. The NCAA is trying to stop it. Basically, what it is, it's a whole bunch of California lawyers getting together and talking about actually paying the athletes of these like colleges, these big name colleges. As a matter of fact, UCLA is one of them. They're stating that instead of making the millions of dollars that you do on these kids and, you know, the potential life risks that they take for our entertainment, pretty much, yeah. Well, they're suggesting that they get paid for that, so that instead of, you know, having to figure out when the next time they're going to have dinner, or if they're even going to have enough money for ramen or for rent or for water or for electricity to do their homework, you know, pay them.
And you know the funny thing is, all the NCAA has to do is go to the colleges, build a dorm there, and pay for that dorm, and bam, they're good.
Well, see, that's the thing. If
They
the
already do.
If the NCAA has to do that, then at some point people are going to start saying, no, you're taking favoritism over UCLA because you built a dorm there, but you didn't build one at Sacramento University or whatever. I don't actually know the college's names over
the
there.
NCAA is not a non-profit.
Yeah, they're not.
The school can get funding from the NCAA.
But that's the thing. If the NCAA starts to fund them, they start to lose money, and that's the one thing that they don't want to do. It's not going to be colleges
They
paying
make
these
a
kids.
lot of money off of merch and
make
everything.
Yeah,
They make
there's
so
no
much
way.
money.
Like UT,
And where does that money go? I thought that they're a non-profit.
they're not a nonprofit.
And not to the players, obviously.
I mean, at every like football event, you see people advertising on the field. If you're watching it from NFL, ESPN or ESPN College or whatever, however you're consuming the content, even if it's on their website or through a cable provider, you're paying for that service. You're paying to have that, and they're advertising on it. They make billions a year. And it wouldn't be the colleges that are paying the kids. It'd be the NCAA and the colleges.
And like, what education are these boys really getting?
They don't.
Exactly.
Somebody else is going to class for them.
Right. Like we've all seen it. We've all heard about it.
I mean, some of these kids actually do go on to study bigger things.
Well, yeah, only a select few of them will actually go on to NFL and that type of career path. But really, what education are they getting?
Yeah, but then it comes back to this is all about education. So I don't think that the player should be paid directly. I think the NCAA needs to say your school participates. Here's your portion of the proceeds. Here's for your athletic department. Or, you know, here's scholarship for these kids.
Scholarship, yeah.
Scholarship.
I think that NCAA needs to start contributing to the players' scholarship funds in a way.
I agree.
So I disagree with that because the school already does that. But it doesn't go to the players. It goes to the people who matter most in those organizations. It's the coach, the head coach. It's the defense coach. It's the offense coach. It's the kicker's cousin's coach. It's the coaches that get the money. And they're like, did you know that the coaches for these organizations, they're paid by contract. Even if they get fired early, the university has to pay out the rest of their contract.
So it's sounding like the NCAA so my big question is, I don't know, are they a nonprofit?
They're not.
They're a for-profit company?
I don't know.
I can tell you right now.
Tech guy on the dish.
It's they consider themselves a nonprofit organization.
Okay, that's what I thought. So
it's to equip student athletes to succeed on playing fields. Sorry, go ahead.
So a way to use student athletes to make money.
Pretty much.
It's just slavery with extra
Fundraising.
steps.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So if they're a nonprofit, then they need to be a little more open about how much money they're intaking and where that money's being spent.
Well, that's what this entire lawsuit is about, and
Yeah.
that's what the bill is about. They want to know where this money is going to, what they're doing to protect the health and future health issues that the kids are going to have.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know how much money they made in revenue last year?
Please do tell me. Inform me.
$1 billion just
Jesus.
last year alone.
And they spent $1 billion in 1 year facilitating us watching.
Pretty much.
Or did they spend $10 million facilitating people watching the sports and the rest went into their pocket?
Especially with all their advertisements. It's a revolving door of cash.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I mean,
They just advertise on their own channels.
well, that's the thing. UT Network is not even owned by NCAA. It's owned by Disney.
That's crazy.
Everything's owned by Disney.
Yeah. All the ESPN channels, Disney. And ESPN and NCAA have a contract so that they can have their own channel, so they can make their own revenue. And they have to split that revenue with ESPN. That's my conspiracy theory. Okay, guys. I mean, sure, they have all this financial aid and scholarship for these kids, but they don't get what they need.
While we all love a good conspiracy theory, that will be the end of today's podcast. Thank you for joining us. This is Norma.
This is Alan.
This is Ethan.
And this is Kielyn. Don't forget to like and